Hello students. Today we are going to learn a very important chapter in Civics Class 7.
6. Directive Principles of State Policy and Fundamental Duties. Dear students, we have studied the fundamental rights guaranteed by our Constitution. Now we shall understand what the directive principles of state policy are. Fundamental rights put restrictions on the power of the government. A few such restrictions are: state shall not discriminate between and among citizens on the basis of caste, religion, race, language or sex. State shall not deny anybody equality before the law and equal protection of the law. No person shall be deprived of his life. State shall not impose any religious taxes. The Constitution has given express instructions to the state about what policies it should undertake. This is in the nature of giving directives or guidelines about how to achieve the goals expressed in the preamble. Hence, they are called as directive principles of state policy. Why were the directives included? When India won independence, we faced a great challenge of establishing order and carrying out smooth administration. Eradication of poverty, backwardness and illiteracy had to be urgently pursued. For this, new policies had to be drawn up and their implementation had to be undertaken. In short, India had to be transformed into a developed and progressive nation. The Constitution has specified the subjects to which the union and state government should give priority in their policies for people's welfare through the directive principles of state policy. The makers of the Indian Constitution had realized that it would require a lot of resources if all these policies were to be implemented at the same time. And that is the reason why they did not make the directives binding upon the state like the fundamental rights. They expected that states should implement them slowly and steadily. Now some important directive principles of state policy. The state should secure adequate means of livelihood to all citizens without any gender discrimination. The state should secure equal pay for equal work for both men and women. The state should secure the improvement of public health. The state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. The state shall protect all monuments of historic interest and national importance. The state shall promote with special care the educational and economic interest of the weaker sections of the people. The state shall secure a uniform civil code applicable to the entire country. Directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights are two sides of the same coin. Due to the fundamental rights, citizens get the most needed liberty, while directive principles of state policy create an atmosphere conducive to the growth of democracy. But remember, we cannot go to the court if a directive is not implemented by the government. Then, fundamental duties. The Constitution has made several provisions through the fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy for the people's welfare. The benefits of the various schemes of the government cannot reach all people if they do not fulfill their fundamental duties. For example, the government has implemented several projects under its Swachh Bharat scheme, but people too need to change their habits that make public places dirty. The fundamental duties of the Indian citizens are to abide by the Constitution and respect the national flag and the national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment, to safeguard public property. Every guardian should provide opportunities of education to his or her child between the age of 6 and 14 years.
Summary. This chapter explains the directive principles of state policy and fundamental duties in India. The directive principles guide the state in framing policies to secure social, economic, and political welfare, including equal pay, livelihood, public health, education, environmental protection, heritage preservation, and the upliftment of weaker sections, though they are not legally enforceable like fundamental rights. Fundamental duties, on the other hand, outline the responsibilities of citizens, such as respecting the Constitution, the national flag and anthem, promoting harmony, protecting the environment, preserving cultural heritage, ensuring education for children, and upholding the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of the nation. Together, these principles and duties aim to foster a just, progressive, and responsible democratic society.